for Ben Wei.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. So I'm Ben. Hey, guys. I was born in Chinatown. My parents and my family moved here as immigrants. They lived, 6 of them, in a tenement in Confucius Plaza, in a New York City studio. You know how that goes. And my grandma worked in a sweatshop here in Chinatown. My grandfather, worked his way up and owned a candy store a couple blocks away. Born and raised in New York. And, I was here, when Hurricane Sandy hit. I was here when there was the blackout, and we had, no electricity for a couple of days. Back in 2003, I want to say. 2004. Oh, it's fine. I was here during 9/11. I remember that day. I was at school. And now I've been here during COVID, when so many of my friends and so many people I call, my brothers and my sisters and people I know really well have left. They said, I'm going someplace else, warmer, someplace else that's, more fun. I'll come back when New York City's back open. And, I said, I can't just sit around. I gotta do something, okay? And so, back in March, when news first hit, my friend called me up and he said, hey, look, he was in the Bronx at the hospital Montefiore. And he was like, yo, it's March. There's like 10 cases in New York. I think I got COVID. All my fellow doctors got COVID because we are out of PPE. People have been stealing it, and the hospital administrators didn't plan for this. Even though they knew it was coming, they're out of PPE. And he's like, doctors and nurses, they're gonna get sick. And they're gonna start dying. And then who's gonna take care of all our sick New Yorkers? And I said, I gotta get off my ass and I gotta go do something. So I started a fundraiser. We raised total, millions of dollars for New York City, for PPE. I spent, it was March, I remember this, March 22nd when I launched the GoFundMe. In 4 days, we raised $200,000. In 4 days. GoFundMe called me. They're like, who are you guys? This is the fastest fundraiser we've ever seen. And I said, I'm a New Yorker. That's who I am. And I didn't sleep. I just called China. I wouldn't sleep because I had to call China and I had to ask them, hey, ship me some N95s. Okay? I don't care how you get it, right? And you have to realize, in that time, in March, it wasn't just like, hospitals trying to get it. It was every single country. I would be calling a factory in China, and they'd be like, I'm sorry, here, we'll give you, 10,000 N95s. The price has doubled in 10 hours, and an Iranian billionaire has come and bought the entire factory. So sorry, we can't send you anything. And I was like, no, I ain't gonna take no for an answer. I am not gonna take no for an answer. So we were one of the only organizations during the pandemic, when there was a shortage for New York City, to bring PPE from outside of the country into America, into New York, to doctors who needed it most.
Thank you, Ben.
And many of them are here today. I'm not a hero. They are the heroes. And so when that happened, I was like, I rented a car. I just loaded a bunch of boxes and started driving. I went to Far Rockaway. I went to South Bronx. I went to East Harlem. I went to Brooklyn. I went to Chinatown. I went to Flushing. I went around New York City delivering N95s to doctors and nurses while everything was shut down. And when I saw that, and visiting these communities, I was heartbroken. Heartbroken because it was a ghost town. Restaurants were boarded up. My home, Chinatown, Flushing, where I would go eat, where I go hang out, closed. Will it ever reopen? We don't know, okay? And we were suffering. And it was very clear It was very clear, and you know what? A lot of people didn't care. And what hurt me the most is that throughout that time, I caught COVID, which is fine. Well, not fine, but I'm here, so okay, great. I caught COVID delivering these boxes, and that's something I was willing to do because I was like, I'll get through this. That's fine. But that's not the thing that sucked the most. The thing that sucked the most was when I turned on the TV and people were like, Kung Flu, the China virus. And I'm like, come on. Come on. Come on. I'm not sleeping. I'm sleeping 2 hours a night maybe, right, for a month and a half, so I can try and help our frontline healthcare workers not get sick, many of whom are our allies and of Asian American ethnicity, so that they can be healthy, so that they can help everybody else and help those who believe that COVID was a hoax. Come on. Come on. So now in 2020, I don't know if you guys know this, but there was a 38% drop in hate crimes overall for New York City. For Asians in New York City, an 800% increase. And that's why I'm here. That's why, once again, I didn't sleep for the past couple weeks to make sure that we get a chance to talk about this. Okay. And I'm going to say this. We are not a model minority, okay? That's right. We are not. Model minorities don't get sent to internment camps, don't get forced into indentured servitude, don't get banned from this country. And today, this is just another moment in our ongoing struggle. We are carrying the torch from older generations and standing on the shoulder of our allies. The moment is now. And sadly, this is only going to get worse. We're in a new year. It's 3,800 reported hate crimes last year. There's already been 500 since January. Since Tuesday's shooting in Atlanta. 3 days ago, a 75-year-old Chinese woman is randomly attacked in San Francisco and fought back with a spoon. An 83-year-old Vietnamese man shopping for groceries, attacked, fractured his neck. 2 days ago, a 69-year-old Asian woman gets brutally knocked and robbed in California. 24 hours ago, on the New York City subway, an elderly Asian man was attacked by a stranger who was screaming Asian slurs. Do you know what the problem calling COVID the Chinese virus is? The Kung Flu? It puts a bullseye on the backs of Asian Americans, on our grandparents, on our mothers and sisters, on our kids and nephews. I was born and raised here. When people ask me, you're a New Yorker, I'm like, yeah, I feel safe everywhere because I was born and raised in New York. No place else can compare, right? But now, I look over my shoulder. I'm fearful, not just for me, but for the more vulnerable, for my parents who are elderly, for my friends' parents, for my nephews, for my female cousins in Atlanta. And that needs to change. So, I need to say this for myself. I am Ben Wei. I am not a model minority. I am not an Asian fetish. And pardon my French. I am not a motherfucking virus. Now, we heard a lot from politicians saying we're gonna change and do better. Some are genuine, some less so. What can we do? We can hold them fucking accountable. That's what we can do. We got recordings. So how about in 6 months, let's see how these task forces are doing, okay? Let's see how reform and change is happening. Talk is cheap. Asian communities, and so here's a problem, and this is part of the reason why we're here, all right? Asian communities, we're not unified. I'm sad to say this, right? AAPI. We are 23 million people and the fastest growing demographic in the entire country. But we act like we're 23 million different groups, right? So this is why we are here today. This is our time to unite. Because we are stronger together. If we were a city, we would be a top 10 city in this country. So I need all of you to make a promise with me today that, you came here maybe because your friends asked you to, maybe because the sun is out and you're tired of quarantining, maybe you heard Jin was gonna perform, maybe you, wanted to, impress some friends or, post it to your social media that you're woke, all right? But I need you to make a promise that it doesn't stop today, okay? That you're not here as a tourist, okay? That you're gonna do something, all right? I can't tell you what to do. I'd like to, and I will make some recommendations later, but do something, all right? So that we can make our bad day a better tomorrow for all of us. We cannot be silenced. We will not be silenced. We will not be silenced. This is our time. Whose time is it? Whose time is it? Whose time is it? Thank you. Thank you.
Ben Wei, ladies and gentlemen. Another round of applause. Fantastic. Woo. That energy, that passion. I want everyone to do me a favor.